Hey friends, thank you for joining us over here at the Mom Desk Club and welcome to my desk. I am really excited about our chat today as we continue diving into time management, hacks and skills and tricks that you can use as a work-at-home mom. That is our whole topic for season 2, so we've spent a lot of time discussing that, and we are going to continue discussing it as we dive into multitasking hacks for moms. So I feel like multitasking is like this superpower that we all think that everyone has, but really none of us have, and it's maybe not even humanly possible. Let's be real. I was a lot better at multitasking when I was younger, especially as a new work-at-home mom, and I feel like I've gotten increasingly worse at it the more kids I've had and the more responsibilities I've got and the more things I spread myself across. But that's okay, because while I may not be able to multitask as well, I have learned how to at least effectively manage my day in a bit of a better way, and how to compensate for my lack of memory and failing brain. So today we're going to dive into a few things you can do to help either multitask or maybe help you from having to not multitask as a busy work-at-home mom. Tip number 1 is to batch similar tasks. So this might not feel like multitasking necessarily, but you're going to take tasks that are all really similar and you're going to just do them all at once. This can help you from having to switch your brain around multiple times. I know you know that feeling where you're in the middle of maybe writing a blog or you're answering a phone, or it's normally computer work. I'm sitting there like focusing on the computer and all of a sudden somebody comes and taps me on the shoulder and they're like, "When are we having a snack?" And it's like, snack time. Okay, yeah, transition. And then you go and you do that, and then you come back and you sit down and you're like, now what was I doing? So if you can try to batch all those things together, it can really help keep you from having to like switch your brain around all the time. So sit down and do all of your emails at once, respond to them, move on. Sit down, do all of your Facebook posts for the week at once, move on. Sit down and record a couple of videos that you need for the week all at once, change your shirt, do your hair differently, do it all at once, and then go to the next task. So if you can batch similar tasks together, it can really help save you from having to switch mentally from one thing to the next, and that can be beneficial. Okay, so the next tip number 2, is to utilize technology to help you stay organized. So the trick of multitasking sometimes is more of just a trick of being organized, and that's something I feel like I am not, but I'm learning and I'm getting better, and I hope that we can all learn together. So one of the things that you can do to help stay organized is utilize specific tools and specific apps to keep your life a little more sane. And of course, we talked about this just a couple of episodes ago, so you could always look back and check out the episodes. We'll make sure and link it below as well, so that you can check out some of the other things that we've talked about with apps and tools to keep you organized. One example I have of this, especially in regards to multitasking, was when we were getting ready for Christmas, and it was a really crazy season. We had all had stomach flu, which I'm sure you can imagine what that's like when it comes running through a family of 6. Just weeks before Christmas. It was a blast. It was a lot of fun. Not really, but we all had the stomach flu, and then the very next week we were going into Christmas, and so I'm frantically trying to catch up and get things ready and get things prepared and get things made. And so I found that when I sat down and I looked at my whole week, I was able to block everything out the way it needed to go, and I could better multitask when I could look at everything from a very broad view. I could combine all of the baking things together that made sense for the day, or I could look and see, well, this particular item doesn't arrive on the shipping truck until Thursday, so we can't even do that until Thursday anyway, so we're going to take that off of the brain and worry about that on Thursday. Schedule it in the Thursday time block. You know, on this day, I'm going to need to clean these floors, and on this day, I'm going to need to clean out the fridge. You know, and it really helped me kind of look at everything and be like, okay, this is a good way to make the week work. And it also helped me to combine things in a way that made more sense for multitasking. Like if I know that I really want to sit down and watch a very specific Christmas movie before we get to Christmas, then I could also maybe fold a load of laundry while I'm watching the Christmas movie. You know, so it kind of, if you can look at everything really broadly and write it all down, whether in an app on your phone or in a real physical planner, it can really help you stay organized and put things together in such a way that makes sense for multitasking. All right, tip number 3 is to combine physical activity in your multitasking. So there are going to be some tasks you have where it would make sense to do something physically active while you're doing the task. Maybe this is listening to a specific book you need to deal with, listening to a podcast that's covering a topic you're really wanting to learn, doing those things while you're maybe walking and getting some energy and increasing your dopamine levels through exercise. A little harder if you decide to take all of your kids on the walk, because then it seems like you're constantly pausing the podcast or the book to answer questions, but still it can be done, and sometimes you just kind of have to fit all those puzzle pieces together and make it work. You could also do walking or stretching while you're brainstorming ideas. I find a lot of times that brainstorming in the morning when I'm going out to do chores, we have just a little hobby farm, and if I go out and I'm doing chores and I'm brainstorming my day and brainstorming projects that I want to do or how I want to overcome a specific hurdle, there's something about that physical activity, and especially doing something that doesn't require my mental capacity as much, that frees me up to come up with really fresh, innovative ideas. It's kind of interesting how that works out. And finally, my last tip is to know when to focus on single task items. You are human, and it's okay to acknowledge that you can't do homeschooling a child while making breakfast, while answering emails, while trying to clean up the floor, and also trying to get ready to leave on a big deal for the day. So it's okay to recognize that you can't do all the things at all the same time, and that doesn't make you inferior, or it doesn't mean that you can't add up to everything that everybody else is doing. It means that we're all human and we're all running in this same complicated mess together, and that it's okay. You just have to be really creative. So if you've got a specific task that's going to require a lot of mental agility from you or a lot of thought, then you can put those things in a time when you can actually dedicate to them. And like I said, it requires a lot of creativity, but you can do this. And as a work-at-home mom who is innovative and creative and really smart, I believe in you. You might have to wake up early to do it. You might have to do it during nap time. You might have to do it after the kids go to bed. You might have to bribe them with an educational TV show for a little bit and a snack and see if you can get 10 minutes to just dive into this one project really quick and give your brain everything you can, and then know that you're going to get interrupted again pretty shortly after that. But I know you can do it. So one example that I have of this was back when I only had 2 kids at the time. I had a 2-year-old and a 4-month-old, and I was working full-time for a marketing company. It wasn't a great combination, and I kind of look back on those years a little twitchy-eyed. But it was a really interesting season to kind of learn how you can persevere under pressure, even when things are really hard and even when you don't like them. But at the time, I was writing a lot of blogs every week, and I was writing a lot of Facebook posts as part of my job description. And I was finding it so difficult to get that done with the kids that I had at the time. Let's be real, I would still find it difficult now. But I was hitting that point when I had been able to manage the workload, and now I can't. And so one of the things that I figured out that worked for me was that we went to bed really early at the time. We'd go to bed around 9 p.m. every night. And if I would make sure all the kids were asleep, get my husband and make sure he's in bed, like go, everybody get out of my house for a little bit. I turned off all the lights. I was ready for bed, PJs and brush teeth and ready, so that all I had to do was just go fall into the bed. And I would stay up for 2 hours. I would go from 9 to 11, and I would write like a madwoman one night a week, just one night, because otherwise I fell into this trap of getting no sleep. So one night a week, I would give myself just 2 hours to crazy write until I got as much done as I possibly could. Then I would go to sleep, and I could spend the rest of my time during the day with the children, focusing on formatting and editing and publishing and that kind of stuff. Things that didn't really require nearly as much of my brain power as writing the actual content. So sometimes you're going to have to be creative. You're going to have to find different solutions, but I promise you can do it. It might require finding a time when the kids are not going to be a distraction. Maybe you send them outside to play for a little bit and you watch them through the patio door while you're focusing really intently on budgeting for the month. Or maybe you are hiring a girl from down the road to come and help watch the kids for a couple hours while you sit down and frantically get your stuff done, while your brain can be free and fresh and not have distractions. Maybe you've got some family that can watch the kids for a little bit. It might require finding someone to help you to accomplish your goals, and that's okay. Asking for help is not a bad thing. Finding solutions is not a bad thing. Another example of focusing on single task items would be these videos. In case you ever wonder, like, where are your children? They're generally asleep. not today. So if you hear any background noise, that would be it. They were asleep. They all woke up. It's been one of those days. A work-at-home mom has a lot of complicated days. But generally, I try to crank out as many videos as I can over nap time while everybody's asleep, because it's just too difficult to make a video with lots of people running around the house and then me sitting over going, shh, shh, be quiet, stop talking, no, hush, hush, don't do that, don't hit your brother. I know you know what I'm talking about. So just know it's real life. We all have these moments. We all have to find these pockets where we can fit things in, and that's okay, to focus on a single task item and figure out how to fit it in a pocket that works for your life. All right, there you have it. 4 tips for busy work-at-home moms trying to figure out how to multitask, if it's even possible. I really want to know your tips and tricks. If you are a veteran work-at-home mom, please drop them in the comments. We all need them. We all want them. If you are a new work-at-home mom and you feel completely drowned out by all this, it's okay. I promise. Hard is not the same thing as bad. Miss M is for Mama, Abby Halberstadt, says it the best. It's okay. You're going to make it. And there are hard days, but that doesn't make them bad days. And you are smart and creative and you can figure this out. I promise. And if you are a wannabe work-at-home mom who hasn't ever gotten into this, don't be scared by the comments about things being hard, because life is hard and you get to choose your hard. And this hard is so worth it. So I hope these tips can help you in your multitasking journey. I hope that your work-at-home life is going great, and I cannot wait until we get to join together again for another quick little Mom Desk Club chat. See ya. Okay, before I leave, I hope that you're able to join us in our next video, because we are going to talk about a really hard topic. We are going to talk about procrastination. So be prepared. Just know that I will be stepping on my own toes. And also, it's okay to realize that as a work-at-home mom, there's plenty of procrastination happening. We're all doing it, and we're all going to work through it together, and it's going to be okay. We're just going to raise the bar a little bit, and we're going to do a little bit better. So I hope to see you at the next one.